What's up, everybody?
Hey.
It's your favorite Maniacs, the Music Maniacs, and your favorite band, Warsight After Dark. I'm Dan
Ooh,
Berg,
I'm Steve Graffiti.
and today we're doing something pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
We're doing this remote, obviously, and the cool thing about this is that we get to share screens and images with each other. So we thought it would be dope to do a podcast on the greatest album covers of all time because we could surprise each other and just throw shit up on the screen and we're gonna be like, oh whoa, I totally didn't see that coming. Oh whoa. So we each respectively came up with a list,
Yeah.
right? And we're gonna run through it. We're gonna talk about why the album cover is so great.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I don't know how you made your list, but for me, I'm like, it's not the best albums of all time.
No.
It's the best album covers of all time.
Right.
So to me, that means like, does this album cover express what the album is about?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not
Okay.
necessarily like, oh, this is the coolest painting I've ever seen, or like, this is the coolest design ever. But it's just like, what does the cover say?
Yes.
Does it
Yeah.
speak to you?
Yeah. I went
Does it
along
speak to
those
me?
lines. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Hell yeah. So it looks like we're on the same page. And we didn't
Yeah.
talk about that before.
No, we did
Just so
not.
that people know.
I also personally did not choose any albums that we have reacted to already. And I did not choose any albums that we did any podcasts on. That was for me.
Oh, shit.
I kind of did along our sad lines too, because remember we've done some videos on best drum lines, best this, best that, and
Mhm.
we've said that this is not the Rolling Stones top 50, Rolling
Right.
Stone magazine's top 50 necessarily. This is kind of like how we feel about certain things, but the ones that I've chosen, I think that people will kind of agree with most of the ones I have. Who knows?
Well, I guess we'll find out,
We will. In the
Um,
categories of music I've chosen, I think maybe.
yeah. Well, it's funny you said that because I definitely have a few that we talked about on podcasts before.
Oh, I knew you would.
You're like, I'll let Dan handle that because that's kind of played out, I'm gonna bring some new shit. Okay. I respect it.
Okay.
All right, you want to go first?
All right.
Oh, this guy.
This
This
guy.
fucking guy.
I had that. This is the one I was going to tell you last week. I was like, oh, I know. I have a good one. You just became a fan of him. So, yeah, this album cover rocks. I love this album cover. Not only is the front good, but the back is good. Like, I mean, to me, Billy Joel kind of has a dual personality about himself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the piano, he's this calm, melodic, cool guy. And then, his personality is a pretty off the charts, kind of combative, kind of scary in a way
Right.
too. So, I think this Stranger is very indicative of him and his personality. But like on this album, you have I couldn't even stop naming all the songs. It was like so many songs. It was like it's moving out. It's like she's always a
Mhm.
woman. It's Vienna. It's just a way. Like it's so many songs. And of course, hard rock, not a hard rocking album, but a great, great album. Guess what year this album came out in?
1952.
That's right. No.
And
But
by
this
1952, I mean 1977.
this is another 77 album. I don't have the back of this album picture, but check it out because he's got the face there too. And he has it like hanging down while he's like sitting on the bed. So it's like I feel like he sees himself as a stranger sometimes too. And I feel like he's got so many different avenues to go down to find himself, because even though his songs are similar, they're all kind of different. Like
Right.
in a way, you're kind of like meeting a new person every time you hear a different song from him. So
Yeah.
I had to
And
pick this one.
you saying that, I do see it in the album cover because it's like him being like lonely, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in front of him is kind of like the sadness with like the clown and like the drama of it.
yeah.
But right behind him, you got boxing gloves. So it's like he's also ready to fight.
This man.
You know what I mean? So like, no, I totally get that. Yeah, that is,
Yeah.
I mean, that's duality on the cover.
Yeah. This album rocks. I always wanted to kind of like remake this somehow. It'd be great. Imagine if we did one, right? And we had like no face, and then we just had the sad logo, and then we had the sad man. Like that would be crazy. But anyway,
Could I be the clown with the
Yes.
mask?
Yes.
And you're just looking at me like, what are you doing? All right, yeah, that was a good one. You definitely surprised me with that.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to Billy, but I wasn't expecting to see him on this. I'm recently converted, guys. You gotta know, I've said this before on the podcast. What Billy Joel is just so well known. By the time I grew up, I was just like, I thought he was corny. But then, like, literally, I texted Steve this like a week ago. I was like, I've totally turned around on Billy Joel. And Steve is like, what? Like, what? How did this come about?
Right.
And I'm like, they were playing a Billy Joel podcast at work, and I was just like, whoa, every single song is just a fucking killer song. Like,
hell yeah.
I couldn't even hate. Like, every single time a song came in, I was just like, check that out. You know what I mean? Like, all right.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around.
Right? For real. So I'm gonna do one. So this is definitely an album that we both really love. And the thing is, like, I looked at this album many times before really like seeing it.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I'm about to share it. Okay, here it is.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a few reasons that I really think that this album cover, like, it really is what the album is about.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I first saw this album, for years, like, I just saw the Metallica logo and I saw a graveyard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's metal as fuck. Like, yeah, right? Yeah. But then as I look, literally, like, after years of listening to it, I looked like closer and I looked closer. And then I see the hands in the corners. Yeah. And I see the strings coming down. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is literally, this album cover is showing that the puppet master is just like guiding you to the grave.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And once I realized that, I was like, oh, this is deep.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because if y'all don't know, I mean, the whole album is basically about different ways of manipulation and ways that people are manipulated. So that the whole puppet theme of it is so, like, present throughout it. So that seeing it, when I realized what it actually was on the cover, I'm like, oh, that's killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to throw that in there. Definitely.